Yo, what's going on, guys? Okay, so I'm going to be speaking about Donald Trump's token. He's doing the pre-sale tomorrow. Okay, in the video, I'm going to go over what I believe he's actually doing. We're going to go over other people's thoughts and opinions on it as well. And we're also going to look at his business partner, who's actually an ex-drug dealer. So it's a bit surprising, kind of the whole setup with this. Very bullish move from him that he's doing this a couple of weeks before the election. Is he doing a rug pull? Is he not doing a rug pull? Is he trying to take over the banking system? Let's have a look. Let's get into the video, and I'm going to go over my thoughts and opinions on what I believe he's doing. Okay, so token is called World Liberty Financial. They're looking to raise 300 million at a 1.5 billion valuation, according to their roadmap. I couldn't actually find their roadmap online. There's not a lot of information when you look online. It's just kind of news articles, and they say similar stuff, but there's kind of like different bits in them. So it is a bit hard to find out exactly what he's doing. So the governance token will be non-transferable for 12 months, but can be used for voting. The token itself, World Liberty Financial, a DeFi project linked to former US President Donald Trump and his 3 sons, is slated to start next week, according to a roadmap shared with prospective investors that was seen by the blog. The roadmap says the initial sale of WLFI will look to raise 300 million. It will sell 20% of the token supply at 1.5 billion fully diluted valuation. This suggests there could be more token sales to follow in an X Spaces last month. Co-founder Zach Folkman said 63% of the token supply be sold to the public, with 17% going to user rewards and 20% to the team. The roadmap clarifies that WLFI will be a governance token used to vote on decisions regarding the future development of the WLFI platform. These tokens will be non-transferable for the first 12 months. Even if the community decides to vote on the tokens becoming transferable during this time, it will only be implemented after a year. The governance features will be live immediately, regardless of their lack of transferability. What that tells me is you're going to enter the pre-sale, okay, and you're not going to receive your tokens until the bear market. So purely for that reason, I don't know who's allowed to invest in this, but I mean, purely for that reason, I wouldn't actually get involved in this, because it looks like they're locking your money up and they're going to give it to you, the tokens, basically in the bear market, which doesn't look great. But what it kind of looks like he's doing from if you read between the lines, it looks like he basically wants to take over the banking system. So he wants to have his own decentralized platform where he can use it for lending, transferring tokens, but basically like his own crypto bank. And then you can obviously buy tokens, you can stake it on a platform, fully decentralized, and yeah, that's kind of what it looks like he's doing. There's just not a lot of information out there, so it kind of looks like he just wants to take over the banking system on the decentralized side of things, and ultimately have his own currency, which is pretty cool if it works. But you know what crypto's like, is there's a lot of bad actors in it as well. So it depends on his business partners, it depends who he's in bed with, or on that front, in terms of the business side of things, because you have 1 or 2 bad actors in the project, and yeah, the whole thing can go very, very bad. So it's a pretty bullish move before the election, definitely. But let's see how it goes. What we're going to do, let's look at a video of what someone's saying about him as well.
Data or hard evidence, as someone who formerly worked for the government in this, as to why you think it's indefinitely going to be a rug pull or a pump and dump? Because many working on the project, I would think, would dispute that.
Yeah, and I really try to be objective, but if you're looking at a project where the incentives are flipped, usually these projects, the organizers hold 20%, maybe less of the tokens. I think Ethereum kept maybe 16%, Cardano was 20%. The Trump organizers are keeping 70%, and even in the 30% that will be released to the public, they're going to make some profit off of that. That is a terrible sign in terms of how it's being structured. The other thing you have to look at is the motive of the people.
Okay, look, let's just stop the video there for a second. So she's talking about basically Donald Trump's team being in control of the project. Now, on the other side of that, okay, they're in control of the project, great. But in her argument, what if they're not in control of the project and the public are in control of the project? They don't care about the future of the project and the future, basically the project's working. If they put all of the tokens out on the market, all it's going to do is basically make people money for doing nothing. They don't care about the project. They make their profits and they leave. They go on to the next project. So in regards, this is what a lot of people don't understand. To make a project successful, you need to own 90% of the supply. The fact that they're only owning 70%, they probably actually own 90%, but I mean, they just put it in the tokenomics and they play about with it to make it look like they've only got 70%. But I mean, to make a project successful, you have to have 90% of the supply, because if you're not in control, other people will be in control and they just market dump on you. So it's very bullish to be in control of the project, not the other way around. So this woman clearly doesn't really understand what she's talking about. I don't know who she is. Maybe she's someone in the government or the news or whatever, but just based on that statement she said, she doesn't actually have a clue about crypto. But let's continue watching for a minute.
People organizing it, Trump's staring down the barrel of a $400 million collection in New York, and this would be personal funds that he could use to satisfy that. So the motives that they have here to make a bunch of money very quickly is unfortunately the worst aspect of crypto, and it's the part of the industry that people do not want to continue.
Amanda, Bloomberg states quite clearly in its report that the issuance of WLFI is in sort of having a role in the governance of the business itself. I want to park that. The other narrative is that Trump thinks the United States of America needs to do this bigger approach because China's already doing it, and he wants America to be a leader in the field. How do you respond to that rationale?
He's absolutely right. I wish that the Harris campaign was saying that. I think they're a little tied in terms of what they can say, because a sitting vice president can't really talk about the sitting administration negatively. But everybody in the industry wants a pivot from the Dems, wants America to lead first. The sad thing is Trump is right. I think the sadder thing is this project might end up destroying the very thing that he said that was accurate.
When we think of China, though, we don't see China embracing all of crypto and projects. We think perhaps more of them entertaining the idea of stable coins, or indeed some sort of form of using within central bank coin. What of DeFi more broadly, Amanda, and this project about sort of getting in the way of the intermediaries? And it's all about loaning, lending, assets.
Yeah, look, there are great aspects of DeFi, and I think that part of this project is the good part that the industry wants to talk about. Again, it's just that the emissary, if this ends up being a rug pull or a pump and dump, it's the worst part of DeFi. But there are amazing DeFi projects out there that the industry wants to highlight and showcase. This will not be one of them. And I don't know that China is...
Well, look, you can clearly tell she's a crypto Karen. She hates Trump. She doesn't want him to be successful, and she doesn't want the project to work, just by the way she's kind of giving him like backhanded compliments. But I think based on what I've seen so far and the research I have done, even though there's not a lot of information, it basically looks like he's trying to set up his own banking system. But on the decentralized side of things. So I think it's brilliant, but let's see what the Karen has to say to finish.
Necessarily the market that's leading on DeFi. There are other countries that I think are more pro-investing and are pro-regulating in those areas. Areas like UAE, Singapore. Sometimes he doesn't get it quite right, which is unfortunate. But the fact that America needs to lead in DeFi is correct. It is horrifying that this project may take us back 10 years instead of advancing us the way that the industry would hope.
Zeke Fox reported an amazing long deep dive story on the people behind this project, and Doe, a project before that had been hacked, and people who've come across from that. They had responded saying, basically an email address they posted to saying, we all see the picture you're trying to paint here and consider it at best grossly inaccurate. And they're saying they're confident of our results will speak for themselves. You talk of regulation, Amanda. What regulation could be put in place to ensure that projects being built like this don't have this question of whether it'll be a rug pull?
Well, look, I mean, there are regulations that we could use in TradFi. I prosecuted countless people who stole money as asset managers in TradFi. So it's not a perfect system now. And a lot of times you're just relying on doing your own due diligence, or as we say in crypto, DYOR, do your own research. I think there are particular regulations in DeFi because it's making certain financial acts decentralized.
Yeah, this woman doesn't have a clue what she's talking about. The main point that kind of hit me is when she said she doesn't that they own too much of the supply. So if they don't own the supply, who else is going to own it? What, the members of the public who are just going to market dump, and then it's going to look like a rug pull, and then Donald Trump's going to be thrown under the bus. Yeah, I don't know why they give these people a platform, to be fair. I think what he's trying to do is great. I'm going to put on another video now, just in regards to his business partner, because I think my main concern is the person who's gone into business with, because the guy who's gone into business with is basically a guy that's known for selling courses, known as an ex-drug dealer, just an influencer. He's not a known guy in the crypto space. He doesn't really have any crypto experience. He's fairly new on the scene. He's more of a kind of, these sleazy salespeople that are course sellers, don't really know what the hell they're talking about. They just come in, they wing it. This is probably my biggest only concern in regards to the project, and the fact that they're going to be releasing tokens after the bear market. Obviously, if that's in the best interest of the project, then fine, but we're not really going to know until we have more information, and the information isn't out at the moment. But let's go on to the next video and just see kind of a brief clip just in regards to his business partner.
Right. What can you tell about this guy?
Yeah, so Chase is an unknown in the crypto world, but I dug into his career, and he's been a marijuana dealer. He says he went to prison for that. He sold weight loss colon cleanses online. He had a $149 a month get-rich-quick class. And then now he appears to be the main deal maker behind World Liberty Financial, which is this DeFi startup the Trumps are promoting. And President Trump himself posted a video saying, this is going to challenge the big banks. So it's really bizarre to see that this is the person they're partnering with.
100%.
I'm sorry, the guy behind this DeFi project isn't even known in the crypto world.
No, and I mean, he calls himself, in videos, he likes to call himself the dirtbag of the internet. I found in another video, he said regulators should kick people like him out of the industry, and not in those words. He seems to have a very cynical, to say the least, attitude towards crypto. And this project, World Liberty, it might sound kind of impressive if you didn't know about crypto, but it appears to be kind of a copy of an existing project that didn't go anywhere and then lost a lot of money in a hack.
Yeah, you're talking about the DOUGH project, right? DOUGH. That seems to be what's got actually industry insiders, the crypto industry, a little worried, is ultimately that the people behind World Liberty Financial have come across from a much smaller project that didn't manage to raise that many funds and actually got hacked.
Yes, and I mean, we don't know the details of World Liberty. I obtained a white paper that lays out some of them, but I'm sure it's all subject to change. But this is supposed to be DeFi, like decentralized finance. The white paper says that 70% of the tokens will be reserved for insiders. So talking to people in crypto, they said this looks like it could be more of a cash grab than an innovative project.
Okay, and therein lies the issue that this could be some sort of cash grab. Some of the details in your story, and that might hint that there's a slight difference in how this DeFi project is run compared to others, is that
I think the biggest concern with that is he's kind of saying something similar-ish to what the last woman said. But I mean, on the tokenomics, you look at last cycle, tokenomics, the first question people ask is what the tokenomics, what's a white paper, what's a roadmap? Now the question people ask if they know about crypto is how much of the supply do you own? If you own the supply and you're in control of the supply, you'll be able to do what you want with the project without risk of it dumping. So I think probably whoever's advising Trump on this should not have put the tokenomics saying that 70% of them will 70% of the tokens will be held by them. They should have done the tokenomics, because the reality is no one's going to know anyway in terms of the marketing, advisory, like the pre-sale, whatever. You can play about the tokenomics and you can hide these things, but still stay in control of the project. So whoever has advised him on that side of things, I think they've probably been too transparent, because they've probably got good intentions. Obviously, a couple of weeks before the election, Donald Trump being behind a coin, so they've obviously got good intentions with it. But I don't think they should have put that on the what's it called, on the tokenomics and the white paper.
the people behind the overall project keep, what, 70% of issued tokens? That's a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we're talking about this like a...
And let me touch on this point one more time. They're going to keep 70% of the tokens. I think that's better than Karen from Blackpool in the UK having a 1% of the tokens. If it goes to a billion dollar market cap, do you think Karen living on benefits in the UK is going to sit there and hold for the future of the project? The team have to be in control. I can't stress this enough. And every project, I'm a crypto advisor for various projects. Every single project, the first question I ask them is how much of the supply do you own? And if they do not own enough of the supply, I will not get involved in the project, because then it's in anyone's hands.
I think we're talking about this even a little bit too seriously. Like, you should go read what this guy says about crypto. I mean, I can't repeat it. The language is too. This is a family TV channel, I guess. But the way he talks about it doesn't give you any confidence that this is a serious project that's going to challenge big banks.
He says basically you can sell utter rubbish and anyone will buy it in crypto. He happened to say that in a 2018 YouTube video recorded as he drove his Rolls Royce.
Yes, and I mean, I'm digging deep to try and find his crypto resume, and I found that he appeared on influencer Logan Paul's podcast, and during the podcast, the two of them promoted a token called OMI, which I had also never heard of before. Since they promoted it a couple of years ago, it's down 96%. And another YouTuber, a scam-busting YouTuber named Coffeezilla, posted this expose that appeared to show the two of them coordinating ahead of the show their plan to talk about OMI.
I mean, it seems that someone else listed in the white paper is responsible as operations lead. Used to run a service called Date Hotter Girls, where he taught seminars on how to pick up women. All of this just feels like a real risk, ultimately, for the person who is running to be president of the United States again, to be associated.
All right, cool. I think we've all heard enough of that. But yeah, look, it's a bit of a difficult one, because obviously, number one, you've got Donald Trump behind it. He can pay for the best. He can get the best advisors, government officials. He can get whoever he wants involved in the project. He's got the money to be able to send it and build the tech and everything behind it. On the other side, you've got this guy. Let's bring him up on the screen. Who is just basically a wheeler dealer, ex-drug dealer, bit of an influencer, promotes some scam projects, doesn't really know about crypto, and this guy's involved in it. So I think we just have to wait and see what happens. I think my main concern as well is they're locking up the tokens for a year from an investor's perspective, because they will have the money. They can then dump the market. You don't know what they're going to do. I highly doubt Donald Trump is going to do a pump and dump 3 weeks or a couple of weeks before the election. But you never really know if he's not in control and he's not in direct contact in terms of the development team when they're deploying it and stuff, and they're in different offices and stuff. He doesn't even know what he's looking at anyway. So I suppose it's a difficult one. He might not know what he's getting himself into. That's probably the only the other concern here. So some of the points these guys have said are valid. Other ones aren't valid. They do need to be in control of the supply. You can't have the communities and the stuff in control of the supply. But on the flip side, Donald Trump's in business with some inexperienced people that are previously been scammers and drug dealers and stuff like this. So I guess we have to wait 24 hours, see what happens in the launch tomorrow, see what happens in the pre-sale. I'll do another updated video once we see what happens, see how much they raise, and any more announcements about the project. Put in the comments as well what you guys think is going to happen. There's not a lot of information out there. Anything you do find, put in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and opinions as well. Remember to like and subscribe to the video, and I'll be doing an updated one soon. And yeah, I guess we see what happens with this coin. I'll see you guys soon.